brought me sprinkle cookies.
So what, no fucking TV now? Hey!
Maybe she's from Jersey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Maybe She's from Jersey. We're your hosts, Jackie Neese
and Alex Curtis.
Happy Monday.
I figured we should spruce that up.
Is that our jingle now? You snapping into the hosts? I think it's beautiful.
Thank you. So today we tried another new place in Trenton, New Jersey. A little bit of a sketchy area where we were, but that's fine. And I had to parallel park Joe's truck for the first time. It was just an all-around experience. This is one up, one down, coffee roastery and cafe. It's a mouthful, but it's good. We got iced coffees, black, nothing fancy. One thing is they don't have any syrups. I was a little bummed about that, but the coffee itself is really good. I probably shouldn't have gotten the syrup, so,
Hey, you know what? You like what you like.
True.
So, today we decided we were just going to do a chill little advice episode.
The first one went so well that we were excited to do more, and we got better questions. The last time there were a few questions, the one was it's my birthday, random things, but this time people stepped it up. Thank you.
Yeah, people are asking some juicy questions. So if you were asking because you've watched the prior episodes, thanks so much for watching, and we're excited to answer some questions. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so we picked our top six. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just jump in. So first one is how to not lose yourself when in a new relationship.
I think that's a fucking great question.
I can't even answer that because I personally do that.
I think it's it's hard. It's hard when it's a new relationship and you're just excited to see each other all the time. You want to spend time together and, oh, this is so new and exciting. All those things. You start spending a lot of time together and things like that. I think naturally, I wouldn't say the word you lose yourself in a relationship, but there is an asset there. You have brought on a partner, there's a lot more you share. Your emotions can be easily affected because maybe they're having a bad day and that upsets you that they're having a bad day, vice versa. They're having really good days, so maybe that makes you feel good. It goes back and forth. There's two people in the play, Yeah.
I think the best thing for me, I was away at school the majority of the beginning of my relationship, which is currently still happening. I was at school, so I had a routine. So I think that helps when you have something that is your own, even just as simple as a routine.
Yeah, 100%.
I go grocery shopping on Mondays, or I study this day, or I get work done this day, or work out this day. Keep those things for yourself. Don't double book yourself just so you could see your significant other. Keep some things to yourself.
I think it's also really important to know too in relationships is everything's a relationship. Our friendship is a relationship. So it's I think the important thing to know is one person can't offer you everything despite how we'd like to think of it. I'm in a relationship and I'm in a relationship and I would love to think that of my partner and vice versa. And though we do always show up for each other, it's my conversations with you are different than my boyfriend, but I think to keep those friendships and keep those different people in your life and those different experiences is very important as well. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that's kind of hard, especially if you're not a super independent person, and you are very dependent, it's so much easier to just fall into that. I feel I had to learn that, especially in high school.
Well, who's not dependent in high school?
Right. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess I left a relationship feeling I didn't know myself at all, and that was so fucking scary. I did not like that feeling, and I literally that summer made a promise to myself. I was I will never do this ever again. And also just do things for you. If you like to go for a walk by yourself.
Get your nails done.
Yeah, make sure you also have your relationship with yourself too. That's super important.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Do you get jealous easily? If so, how do you deal with it? I personally am not easily jealous, but when I do get there, it's probably my significant other's fault or my friend's fault. I usually don't blame the person that was inciting anything because they're assholes and they mean nothing to me.
Right.
I more so judge my friend, my boyfriend, whoever I'm like connected to.
Because they owe you, like, that other stranger doesn't owe you anything. They don't know you. Like, those people, there's a line of respect there.
Like, shitty person for sure. So I just think if you are a jealous person, one, you need to communicate that relatively early on. I don't know how jealous this person is or what we're talking about. Like, if someone's so jealous that it makes them like sick, like they can't get over it. I don't know. That's an extreme, but I'm saying like normal jealousy. Definitely communicate that with your friend, partner, whatever. Also communicate in the moment. Like, that makes me feel a little weird.
Right.
That makes me feel uncomfortable. That rubbed me the wrong way. Whatever you want to say. At least communicate that so you can always be like, well, I did say. And then, I don't know, try and remind, like, almost like a coping mechanism, have things to remind yourself of why this is just in your head.
Yeah.
So, you know, if your boyfriend, girlfriend has always been loyal, never hurt you, yada, yada, but you're like, you have PTSD from a past relationship, maybe you were cheated on. I always tell my friends that have had relationships like that, especially you.
Yeah.
Give that person a clean slate. Like, remind yourself they did nothing wrong and it's not fair. If you were on the other side, you would feel the same way. It's a you problem.
Right. Right. And people shouldn't have to suffer for the actions that other people had. Like, I feel like that's a huge thing. I don't know. Like, my thing is like, what does jealousy actually mean? And what's actually just like borderline, like disrespectful? Like I generally mean that. I'm not being passive. Like, cause I feel like for me in this stage of my life, if something happens, I'll like give myself a few days and be like, am I actually upset about that? Or did it trigger something personally from my past? Like, or did this cross a boundary for me?
Right.
That's kind of where I land, is like, so what actually is jealousy? Because I feel like at the end of the day, if you're feeling jealous, what's going on?
Definitely dissect that.
Yeah.
But also, I'm a non-reactive person, but when it comes to my boyfriend, I can be pretty reactive. And I think that's just an insecurity of mine, not to his fault at all. But yeah, aside, like kind of what you said, think about it, but reassess if it's a you issue or if, you know, he did something wrong or your friend did something wrong or your girlfriend did something wrong. And like try not to be reactive right away. I know. That'll help for sure.
Yeah. It's hard though, because if there is something that really does trigger you, I know that feeling and I see red sometimes. I literally, like, I'm like, and I'll try really hard to have control over my emotions. And I'm like, I'm actually not going to feel better until I say this out loud.
And then you're like in that zone, mood, look. And that person, friend, boyfriend, whatever is like, are you okay? What's wrong with you?
And you're like, yeah, I'm fine.
You're like, I'm fine.
Sometimes I get quiet, and I guess Steve has mentioned this to me, like it comes off like I'm being pissy or whatever. And I'm like, I'm actually quiet because I'm generally trying to figure out in my mind if it's that big of a deal to bring up or if I was just being triggered or like it annoyed me. Like, I think the bigger thing too is like pick your battles. Yeah. So sometimes I'll get quiet and be like, did that actually piss me off? Or like, am I just in a mood today? I feel like that goes into it as well. Because like if you're having a shitty day and someone says something the wrong way, you're like, oh, hell no.
I'm at the stage in my relationship where I expect Joe to like understand if I'm just in a bad mood and if he's making it worse, which is, you know, not healthy. He can't read my minds even after 5-ish years. Like, I'm sure it'll never happen. But in my fucked up mind, I'm like, you should know that this mood is just because I'm upset. And you being like, are you mad at me? Makes me mad at you. Yeah. So shut up. So yeah, that's a me problem. Okay. Yeah. Understand yourself before you attack others.
I think also it's like clear, like communicating things and just being like, hey, that makes me uncomfortable. Also, I want to say, like, even like the thing about social media, like, I feel like there's such a stigma to be like, oh, well, I don't care if my boyfriend does that. Oh, I don't care if and it's just like, okay, but if that does bother you, just say it. Yeah. You don't have to act like it doesn't bother you. If it does, just say it. I feel like I'm so straightforward at this point that I'm just like, that makes me feel uncomfortable. This makes me feel kind of weird.
For instance, I mean? I don't care if Joe likes girls' pictures, but if he were to comment
Right. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
I don't care if you like it. What I don't know. That just doesn't bother me. I don't even know why it doesn't bother me. It just doesn't. Because I think I scroll through Instagram, and if I just like a photo for whatever reason, even if it's a sexual one, I'll like it. It's not like I'm thinking like, so I'm going to ask this person out.
Right.
I'm going to get in their DMs. No. So maybe I just push that on him. But if he were to comment, I would be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's Carrie?
No, that's so true.
It's a line of respect.
Yeah, I think, and like you said, if the liking thing doesn't bother you, then it doesn't bother you. But if it does, then it does. And I don't think there should be like a stigma around it. Like if that bothers you, then like it does. And like your partner should be able to respect that, and vice versa.
Like if I was posting thirst traps, he would probably be like, bro, chill.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Who's this for?
Right.
And like some girls are like, it's for me.
Yeah.
That's just not, he knows that that's not me. So
Right.
he'd be like, no, this isn't.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Boyfriend's mom is really rude to me. What do I do about her? I have so many questions because like how long have you been dating? Are you serious about him? Are you young? Are you older? Is the mom younger? Is the mom older?
Did something happen?
Right.
Like was there like a weird argument or
Let's
something?
just blank slate it then.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're dating this guy and the mom's not the nicest to you. I'm sure, again, be the bigger person, step out of your mindset, jump into hers. You know, her son's probably perfect and no one's good enough for him. And, you know, she may have struggles with men in her life and she knows what her son brings to the table. And maybe her son, she just wants them to live, her son to live happily ever after. Just, she's a mom. Remember that. If she's blatantly disrespectful, you have to say something to her.
Yeah.
Never get your boyfriend involved
Yeah.
unless it's a situation.
Yeah.
Like an event that happens that was catastrophic. But if it's just you and her and you notice that she's making digs or comments that boys never fucking hear,
Yeah.
fucking call her out. Be like, oh, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Or if she says like, I don't know, you're blonde and blondes are really dumb. Be like, well, I'm actually really smart.
Yeah.
And that was really rude of you to say.
Yeah.
And most of the time they'll probably be like, oh my God, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Like
They're not expecting you to respond.
They'll backtrack. But do something first so at least your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other can see that you handled it first. And then if it escalates, you get them involved.
Wait, so I have a question because you said not to get the boyfriend involved. And not that I think it's the boyfriend's responsibility, but from a personal standpoint, I remember my mom told me when she first started dating my dad, my noni did not like my mother. And for no reason, she just decided, I don't like you. My noni didn't speak a lick of English. Well, neither do I. Neither do I, apparently. My noni didn't speak a lick of English. Like, not a word. I never understood her. And she would have Sunday dinner at her house every single Sunday. And my dad was one of 10, so there was a huge table. My mom would get up and clean and do whatever she could. My mom was trying like so hard, and she was just did not like her. Aww. And one day my dad was like, okay, let's get ready to go. We're going to head over to my mom's. And my mom was like, honestly, I feel really uncomfortable going. Like, I know she doesn't like me. I just feel really uncomfortable. I don't feel welcome. And then like my dad was like, no, let's go. It'll be great. Like, we'll figure it out. So that night they went, and I guess, I don't know if my noni made a comment in Italian, and my mom didn't know what she said, but you could tell. You could tell she said something that wasn't the nicest, and my dad kind of took my noni, like spun her around and was dancing with her and said something to her in Italian. And to this day, my mom has no idea. But since that moment, my noni was fine. Yeah. So I don't know if it's, should the son say something?
Like, I think, in my opinion, I just think you should start first, lay the ground rules, because, you know, fight your own battles kind of thing, because I
guess her not speaking English didn't help.
And mother and daughter, whatever relationship that you are entering, like that's already established heavily, you're the outsider. So you set your boundaries first. It just makes you look more credible, in my opinion. Right. And then as an adult, if you guys can't work it out, if you still feel like she's being X, Y, and Z to you, and you've already tried to do something about it, then you can say to your boyfriend, I, need you to essentially put your relationship at risk for me because, and I'm not saying like break up with your mom, but I'm saying like, of course your significant other is going to be uncomfortable approaching their mom about that.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. Like before they take that leap for you, make sure you tried amicably to solve the problem as an adult, and then get your boyfriend, girlfriend to be like, hey, you're being whatever.
Right. I like that.
Lighten up.
I like that.
I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't put Joe in that situation.
You're like, I tried.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to make, I don't want to put Joe probably, like, I'm saying Joe, but like Joe would probably feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like that's hard. And same with me. If he was like, oh, your dad has been being weird to me. And I'm like, well, I would be like, well, say something to him. You guys are grown men.
Yeah.
Maybe you're miscommunicating.
Yeah, that's true.
You always want to stick up for your parents first.
Right.
And then if he were to be like, no, this was our conversation, I tried, and he was kind of being rude, then your significant other's aware of it. They're watching for it. And then if they see it happen, that's when they should pull them aside and be like, hey.
I like it.
Thank God Linda stuck it through, though.
Well, I think it didn't help that my noni didn't speak English. It's not like my mom could have walked over and be like, hey, do you not like me? Yeah. She'd be like, Bafang.
Do you want to build a snowman? Okay. Boyfriend and I have been dating for 4 years. No ring talk. Do I give an ultimatum? # ultimatum. Like the Netflix show. Okay. One, let me just throw this out there. The Ultimatum Netflix show is a bunch of young 20-year-olds. I'm like, why are you in... And I think they're from the South, which I guess is a little more...
Wait, I don't know this show. What?
It's a show on Netflix that 5 or 6 couples come on. One of the partners gave an ultimatum to the other. I want a ring, marriage, let's do it, or I'm leaving you. And the show is where... they, the couples come on, they all meet each other, and then the hosts are telling them that you're actually going to live with another one of these people other than the person you came with for 3 weeks and do a trial marriage. See if the person that you came with is really someone you want. You either leave with your partner, leave with a new partner, or leave alone.
Wow.
So
that gave me chills.
But everyone giving the ultimatums were like 23, 24. I'm like, slow down. They were all dating for like 2.5 years. I'm like, that's, unless you're like pushing 30, you want kids, you've expressed all of this. So you're like, what's the holdup at this point? But a lot of these people didn't have hard conversations yet. Yeah. And I'm like, that just shows you that you're not ready for marriage. Either of you. Right. Anyway, we digress. This person, 4 years. Okay. Again, I don't know how old this person is. I don't know how strong their relationship is.
I think that really does depend on the relationship too. Like, are you guys living together? Right. Like, there's like a lot in play there. I feel like also this is going to sound so weird, but I feel like before people even discuss like marriage and stuff, like, it's that you move in together, maybe you get a dog, kind of test out the co-parenting, like how you work together kind of thing. Like, I feel like there's certain steps. So I feel like if that hasn't happened for you yet, maybe that's the conversation that needs to happen. 100%. If you are there and you are living together and, there's strides there, can you bring it up? Like, is that weird? I don't know. Like, I've never been in a place yet in my life where I was in such a long-term relationship that like I was like, why haven't you asked me for a ring? So I don't know from personal experience. I feel like it's just so wild because I feel like you see relationships, people could be dating for 1.5 years, get married, and then like you're sitting there watching and being like, well, what the fuck's wrong with me? And then you finally find someone, maybe you're dating 6-7 years, no ring, and they get a divorce and your marriage is actually really healthy. Like, I feel like we have this stigma around how relationships should work and
the timeline.
Yeah, I feel like
every relationship is different, and that's so cliche, and I'm sure your mom tells you that all the time, but it's so true. You're exactly right. All of my friends, Joe's friends, they have completely different relationships from us. Things are acceptable, things are not acceptable. There's different boundaries, there's different expectations. It's a completely different world in someone else's relationship. But I guess to answer your question directly is like, aside from taking steps to make more of a commitment aside from the ring, I just think it's weird that there's no talk after 4 years. Like, me and Joe would at least joke, like, when we get a house, I want an aquarium in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what she means, but if there's no talk, I would just bring it up.
Yeah.
And just be like, I'm a size 5, right? Just like, I don't know. In my opinion, I think making jokes about everything is a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I always do that.
We could always like double check and see if he hates that, but I think it makes me feel more comfortable. So maybe make a little joke about it.
Yeah.
Be like, yo, my other boyfriend's waiting to see what you're about to do. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about the ultimatum. If it is something...
Ultimatum.
Okay, well, we know we're not speaking English well today.
Yeah.
So.
Ultimate. I don't know.
Fuck that. Yeah, I guess it really does depend on the situation. But if that's something that's truly bothering you, I'd say just bring it up. Like, because what's the holdup? Like,
yeah, and at that point, I don't know what timeline you're on. Like, if you're older and you want kids, you got to figure that out now. Yeah. But I do think if you're young and you've had a lot of problems in your relationship and you know for a fact there's a lot more to work out, then wait longer or ask those questions first. Right. Because people are always in a rush to get married. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. That's so scary.
Yeah.
That's so scary.
Like I feel confident in my choice.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not engaged, like I feel confident in my choice, but I'm also someone that I never want to peer pressure somebody to marry me.
Oh my God.
That just, then we shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I have a skewed thing about that, but we won't even get into it.
So girl, do what you gotta do, but don't be crazy about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Figuring out if I should go back to school, I would have to quit my job, SOS. Going back to school.
Well, what are you going back for?
I guess, obviously, I'm assuming it's something that he or she wants more.
It's not a theater degree?
I'm actually thinking about, no. I'm sure it's not. Okay, let's just, again, we need to like come up with an Instagram block where you can like put like a paragraph.
Yeah, like specifics and
or just like be more specific.
Maybe.
I say do it.
I say do it too.
Only because not that I hate my job, but I understand why people go crazy if they really hate their jobs.
Yeah.
I like my job, but it's definitely not something I'm passionate about. But if this is something that you're excited about and you're even willing to go back to school for it, that just shows you like, do it, girl.
I think also if it's going to like escalate your career or escalate, like if you're going to be at a different job because of it, or it's really going to impact something, do it. This is the time to do it.
Right. I think if you're just exploring things, like take a community college course then.
Right.
But if you know what you want to do and you've been pushing it off or you just discovered whatever, go for it. Because there's this, saying that someone's afraid to do something, because, by the time I'm out of school, I'll be 35. And someone responded and, said, yeah, but within those 5 years, you could also have been a doctor.
Yeah.
So, like, time is such a concept.
Yeah.
But, yeah, why live your life if you're not, like...
I feel like also if you don't do it, you're just going to think the whole time, what if you did it?
And... I'm very aware that it's an ignorant statement to be like, just go back, just do it. Like, I'm sure you have bills to pay. You could have kids, a family. You could be sacrificing other things. I'm aware of that. All I'm saying from baseline, you didn't give me much. So all I'm saying from the baseline is if you're already thinking about it, and I'm sure you've done your research, I would go for it. You could always stop. Knowledge is something that's never invaluable. So even if you did the courses and it didn't work out for whatever reason, you still walked away with something.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's very true. And if the job you're at now has anything to do with why you want to go back to school, ask them to like reimburse you.
True.
Or something. Like if that's going to like better you in their business, be like, can you reimburse me? I'd love to go back to school. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, something that is actually really similar. I feel like you can talk about. Going from a corporate to a dream job, very unconventional. So in my head, I'm picturing, because I follow a lot of dog Instagrams, are the women that make like dog brands and they like now make bandanas. I know so many of those that like quit their big time jobs to like make dog bandanas.
Yeah. I know people who have literally quit their jobs cold turkey and just like went for their dreams. And I fucking applaud you, because that is fucking scary.
Yeah.
I mean, technically that's like what I'm doing, but I'm very fortunate to be very happy at a part-time job that I work right now. I love where I work. I actually wish I hated it a little bit more, so I have like a fire under my ass, you know what I mean? But I really love it. I literally, this was kind of my idea, was instead of like quitting everything cold turkey, like eating raw noodles every night or whatever the fuck ramen noodles, whatever the fuck they're called, those things in that cup, weird. Eating that every night and just like,
I'm shook you don't know what ramen noodles is.
I do, but like not like,
You
I
never
don't
struggled.
know. I struggled bad. So my thing is like, I was like, okay, let me like gradually move out of this job. So like when I graduated, I kind of had like 8 months really or something in the real world, and then COVID happened. So I mean, my career was just, nothing was going to happen during COVID for entertainers, especially an independent artist. And so I was like, I'm just going to work as much as I can and save up as much as I can. I literally was clocking in like 60 to 65 hours a week, just exhausted. I was taking like 80% of my paycheck, putting it in my savings. Like I saved up. And then with that, obviously that's not going to pay my bills, but I decided that when I got back to like kind of a regular schedule, I was working 5 days a week. I'd wake up, say I have to be to work 10 a.m. I'd wake up at 6 a.m., work out, spend the next 3 hours on business stuff, content creation, whatever. And then also after my job, I'd come back and like write music at night. Wake up, do the same thing again.
You would call me at like the night before and be like, hey, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. to do like an ab workout. Do you want me to FaceTime you? I'm like, can we do like 10 a.m.?
I was like, no. I was like, okay, if this is something I want to do, I'm going to have to make it happen and also pay my bills. Like that, paying my bills is very important to me. Financial stability is very important to me. And not that I'm there, but I'm working my way there. And I just feel like now I've gotten myself to a point where now I'm starting to make money on social media. I'm starting to make money on TikTok. I'm starting to make, things are kind of slowly coming in, and not anything that I would quit my job cold turkey and go for it, but enough that I'm kind of like, okay, now I'm going to work 4 days a week, or now I'm going to work 3 days, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of moving it back a little bit, scaling it back. But my thing was like, make the time for your dream job. Like if that means you have to wake up at 5 a.m, do it. And I leave a little note by the side of my bed that's like, I think it says, everything you do this year will change how you live the rest of your life. I have that right next to my bed. And that's just so I know.
It's a little intimidating.
No, but for me, it reminds me like, I can change my life in a year. You know what I mean? Like, and easier said than done, but like it could happen. So yeah, when my alarm goes off at 5 a.m, like I'm getting my ass up. Like even enough that day, I don't want to, like, and I'm so exhausted. Like it's more like the discipline of it and like really, really the big picture of like, this is what I want.
Guys,
so
I'm
going to
go
go
to post gym photos at 4:50 in the morning. Like, and I just woke up and she's like, it's dinner time.
No, but that's also a really good feeling too. If you go to the gym super early, like clean your room, like shower and eat, and it's like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I got the whole day. Yeah, like I don't know, it's a good feeling. But whatever works for you. If you want to quit your job and go for your dream job, that'll be a huge fire under your ass. Like do it. I heard something like Kanye's mom, I could be wrong, or maybe it was Kevin Hart. There was something a friend told me, so let me know if I'm wrong on this. I could be saying the wrong name. But their mom gave them an entire year. She was like, I give you an entire year. You can live at home. You know, I'll do food, expenses, whatever. Go out there and make your dream happen. Wow. You have a year. And she was like, and then after a year, go get a job and go get it someplace to live.
Figure it out.
Yeah, which I think is kind of a really supportive thing for a parent to do. And also really great because it did give you that time to be like, okay, like someone else is taking care of my finances. I could just like go for it. But yeah, if you want to quit your dream job and that feels right to you, do it. I support you, and I hope everyone around you supports you.
I was going to say, make sure you have support somewhere. You're going to need it at some point.
And if someone's not supportive, cut it off. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
That was harsh. Okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
If you have friends who are not going to be supportive or are going to put you down, literally get rid of them.
Well, let's just clarify, because I'm one of those friends that's like, are you sure? Do you have a backup plan? And my brother, for instance, was like, backup plans mean failure. And I'm like, no, like I support you, but I just want you to be able to pay your bills.
That's different. That's being a supportive friend.
Clarify that.
Yeah.
Like, even though if your friends are questioning you and asking you hard questions, it's because they're just looking out for you. They want to make sure that you're not blindly if you're going to quit your job and do something that drastic, do it in a smart way.
Yes. And I really mean this, like, have supportive people around you. Like, I don't mean it in that way. Like, that I appreciate those things from you. Like, I've had people in my life who would purposely not do things to support me or would purposely try to make me upset on days I had very important performances. Yeah. And to me, that's, like, the worst thing you could do to somebody. Like,
bye.
Yeah, that's what I mean by, like, keep your bubble small. I keep my bubble small. I love everybody in it, and I'm very grateful. And Amen. I hope all your dreams come true.
Okay, bye.
Peace.
I think that is it, though.
I feel like we could do these advice ones, though, just so, like, we can talk to you guys more. Like, I would love to have everyone more involved in our podcast, so it does feel like we're not just sitting in front of a camera and this streaming thing.
Forward, we want more specifics on these.
Yeah. Like, tell us about your life. Let's chat. We won't shout you out. Unless you want to shout out. We will shout out your Instagram, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, we want to hear from you guys more and just like converse and help if we can, or make you laugh, or you could disagree with us and tell us to go fuck ourselves. That's fine too. Or you
could help us.
Or you could please help us. We need it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching, listening, however you're doing this.
Yes.
Hope we were insightful or humorous. Humorous?
That's a word, but it just sounded weird in that sentence. A bone? What?
It sounds like a bone. Isn't a humorous a bone? I don't know. Anyway, thanks again. Again, don't forget to rate us 5 stars, leave any comments, only nice ones, and like and follow and subscribe.
Love you all. Thank you very much. Bye.